Okay. What is it, like midnight? It's this huge dark storm came in and I had to find a light. I'm using my little book lamp. So late as usual. um, oh, here we go. So happy first quarter moon. The moon is in Virgo, so I'm gonna light these are my new aqua colored candles with I just switched over to a hemp wick. I find that it burns a lot longer and it burns a little cleaner too. So yeah, I've got these in the shop, and I picked the aqua color for Virgo because Virgo is the Virgin, and like usually colors associated with Virgo are just like very muted. So I'm just gonna light that candle. Lighting candles just really brings me like into the here and now, gives you something to focus on, to just like take like a sacred pause. I've had a rough couple of weeks. I know I kind of talked about it last week. For the new moon, and I was hoping that that energy would shift because of the new moon, and that like I'm feeling like really productive, like I had gotten things done, but then I just took this really horrible turn for the worse, and I've had a really dark week, darker than I think I've ever gone before, and I know that's kind of hard to say because like when you're in a really dark feels like the worst thing that is ever happening to you in that moment. But then when you look back on dark, like you don't really realize how bad it felt or how bad it was. So I don't think I've felt this dark ever, but it is possible that after I went through a really dark period after my dad died. So I don't ever getting that low, which is pretty bad. That was like a 3-year dark, but this was like the most intense, like no coming out of it, no seeing the light. I really was not okay for quite a while, quite at least a few days, and it was just kind of like up and down, but not really getting very far up. And the reason I'm bringing that up is just because it's put me in this place where I've had to go really deep inside myself and reflect in order to pull myself out of that darkness. And a lot of what helped me get through it, astrology and focusing on the moon. Because when you focus on the moon phases, the moon shows us that after there's darkness, there's light. Last week we were in the dark half of the moon, and now we're starting, the light is growing and getting bigger. So I would recommend not stopping any of your high anxiety right now, or even if they are herbal, which I don't take any prescription medications for depression or anxiety. I use a more natural route. Not that I think that there's anything wrong with being on medication. I think if you feel like you need to be on medication, and I possibly might consider it, just because it has been very scary. And the reason I'm bringing this up, as well as it like focusing on the moon and astrology helps me out of it, I want to be transparent and I want to be honest, because I know I'm not the only one out there that's going through a dark time right now. So I just want to be as transparent as possible. And I think it's kind of, we all wear masks. We all wear masks all the time. And never really show who we truly are. So I don't want to wear a physical fabric mask to protect myself and to protect everyone else, but I don't want to wear my fake mask anymore. I don't want to put on a plastic smile and pretend that everything's okay, because it's not always okay. And we're so just like that, especially when you're around people, when you're in public. And that's why it's so surprising when people commit suicide. It's because, oh, he was happy, she was so happy. And that's not always the case, but it's because we're so used to just putting on a happy face and pretending. And I don't want to pretend. And if there's anybody out there that's hurting right now, I've been there. It sucks. And I don't know why it feels impossible to be able to reach out to somebody. Like, I didn't even tell until just like a few hours ago. That's kind of why I'm running behind, because he came home for lunch and I had to shower because I had gone to the grocery store, but I just really needed to get off my chest because today is the first day that I finally, there's a light at the end that like I'm feeling a little bit better. And I don't know if anybody else out there is hurting. I feel you, and I know how hard it is to reach. I hope that you can reach out, but I mean, a couple days ago I was reaching out and I was seriously considering. So and literally laying in bed, lying next to somebody and not being able to help from that person. I don't know why. I've been there, and if you're going through that, hopefully this makes you feel like you're not alone. So on a lighter note, the moon is getting brighter. The light is coming. Next week will be the full moon. And it was a lot of, it was like the perfect mix of bad things that brought me that low, but it was also kind of the perfect mix of things that got me out of it. It wasn't really one thing. One of the things, and I know if you've watched any of my videos so far, the whole time I've been talking about how strange it is that I haven't been drinking enough water this whole time being home. I get not eating as much because you're not as active, so you don't need that much energy, because I'm eating that much. Water thing, there was something wrong with my water filter, and I knew there was something wrong with it. It was like filtering fast, like way faster than it usually does. So it wasn't like screwed on all the way. And that's been going on because it's one of those, like, it's like 3 gallons. So you have to either wait for to change the filter or clean the filter, or you have to empty it and dump all that supposedly filtered water out down the drain. And it was just one of those, whenever it would get empty enough, it'd be like, I need water. So I would just pour more water in and filter it. So I just never got around to cleaning it out. But we have a fluoride filter on it. And I really, really think that because it wasn't filtering properly, like I don't even think it was good fluoride filter part at all. And I just fixed it, and this today is the first time that I have really felt like I was going to come out of this depressive state. And I know there's a lot of controversy, and most people probably think I'm crazy, but the thing to the fluoride thing, I think, because I've been nonstop today now that it's like clean and filtrated. And it's almost like subconsciously this whole time I've been like, don't her, it's got fluoride in it. And I didn't even know that something was wrong until a couple weeks ago. So that was, I really think that not, well, enough water can also have an impact on your mental state. But I mean, I wasn't taking my vitamins. I wasn't making my tea anymore. I was really just, there were so many signs like a month ago that I guess I just shrugged off as being like, the world's crazy right now. Of course you feel weird or sad or anxious, but I didn't realize how bad it was until the last 2 weeks. But really, in the last week, it was just like the lowest of the low. So I am feeling better today. The moon is getting brighter. But also, I wanted to bring up a lot that's going on. Is 3 planets are retrograde right now, and well, I guess before I get into that, and you should still be kind of building on that. Hopefully, getting everything done that you had intended to do. Hopefully, you're starting to see a little bit of progress and like you're moving forward. And then next week, the time really like kind of reevaluating or celebrating what you had set your intentions to be, or set your intentions on. And so the first quarter moon is just to keep building, to keep getting all those things on your to-do list done, and getting like building, like being productive, being active. Whereas when the moon is getting brighter, you're using that energy, you're using that light to move forward, to get things done. And then after the full moon is when you're going to start to like relax. It's kind of like, I know we think of the moon as a cycle, but I see it as being like what is the darkest part? So you're low, and then the light is steadily increasing, and then we get to the full moon, which is where it's at its brightest, and then you can kind of coast down the hill, is kind of how I feel. Because at the full moon, you're celebrating and things to see results from the things that you're working on, and you can kind of take it easy and just continue to do like what you've been working on, and then we'll start back down at the bottom of the hill and then build back up, back down. I know we're supposed to look at things in cycles, and while that still makes sense it makes it easier in my brain to view it as up and down. So yeah, and that seems to be how it goes for me, but maybe it's different for everybody else. I'm smudging a lot right now because it's been a shit week. And I just got back from the grocery store, and it's like, God, it's like a job to go to the grocery store now. And man, was it crowded. I guess because it's Friday. I haven't been on a Friday. Man. So Virgo is a really good time to be on the light side of the moon, because your Virgos are the virgin. So think of like strict. Virgos tend to like be kind of anal retentive, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. All their ducks in a row. They like their plans, and they like to get things done. They also are very service oriented, so they're probably the ones that are going to help you solve a problem. They just get things done, and they're really organized and really good at getting things done and being productive. So it's a really good time to be using that Virgo energy and to help you get through it. And that's what I've been trying to do with pulling myself out of depression and figuring out what to do with my career and my business, and just using that energy to just make the lists, check them, research, like plan things. So this is a really good doing that. But if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling depressed, feeling anxious, it might be because if you feel like you're going backwards, it might be because 3 planets are in retrograde right now. And when planets go into retrograde, like everybody talks about Mercury because Mercury goes into retrograde fairly often. And Mercury is the planet of communication. And so any big contracts or plans usually have to like double check things. And so it's the planet is not physically going backwards in orbit, like that's not possible, but it's just where it is in its orbit. It appears to be moving backwards, but really it's kind of just stuck in one place. And then it will continue like through to do its orbit. So Mercury is the one that they talk about. It is not retrograde right now. I didn't mean to confuse anybody. Most people know about Mercury retrograde, so I thought like that would be a good example, but I understand it's confusing. So the planets that are retrograde now are Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. And Venus goes into retrograde about every 18 months. So like a little less than once a year, and or like every other year. And Venus is the planet of, so if you're feeling maybe stuck in your relationships or like you're going backwards in your relationship, like things aren't going as you planned, it could be because Venus is in retrograde. And one of the things really good to look at, if you go to astro.com, they have free birth charts, and I highly recommend pulling one of these up for yourself because it really helps me get insight into why I do things the way that I do, and it helps me solve a lot of problems, which is just really, really need right now. And astrology is one of the things that actually kind of pulled me out of the depression because I was like, oh, I am focusing on the wrong things. I need to be using my planetary energy to move positively. So this is my husband. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. So at the bottom of the charts here, they list all of, I don't think I get clear. They list all of the all planets down here on the side, and then the sign that the planet is going to be in this other. So if you look at where your Venus is in your chart, it's really kind of just interesting. That's why I was bringing it up, to see how you love, basically. So my Venus is in Virgo, so I have to have like things in order to love somebody. Has to be very organized, and it's kind of when I read that, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So it's really kind of interesting. And that's another thing. Like when the moon is in a certain sign, look at where it falls in your chart. So so I have Virgo in Mercury and Venus. So Mercury is really going to affect me because my Virgo is Mercury and like need to have things in an order, and retrograde, it's going to fuck up that order completely, and I just like can't function. So that's why I am one of those people that is very affected by Mercury retrograde. But so right now, yeah, I do a lot of planning with my relationship, like planning time together, scheduling things, because my husband and I have opposite schedules, so it's really hard to find time to be together and just like, so that is something that I struggle with. And I forgot to write down the dates for how long it's going to be in retrograde. But if you're feeling like, we've been together for a really long time, so, and stressful times like is going to put stress on any relationship. So if you're feeling it like extra and you're like, why is this going on? What is going on with this relationship? Like I've been with my husband for 15 years almost. And like, I don't know, sometimes you feel stuck, and It could be because like there's extra emphasis on that feeling because Venus is in retrograde right now. So if you're feeling stuck or like you're moving backwards in a relationship, that it's Venus, right? So that might be affecting you. And so Jupiter is also in retrograde, and Jupiter is the planet of like learning and knowledge. And when retrograde, it just kind of means like you need more time to learn certain things. Like you're not like soaking in the knowledge as quickly as maybe you usually would. So it's like, again, kind of like you're moving backwards, stuck. You're like, it's kind of like, when you're reading a book and you're not really focused on it, and you like read the same paragraph like times, and you're like still on this page, like, why am I not getting it? That is like a Jupiter retrograde kind of thing. So you just need extra time for learning. You need extra time for growth. And I think that's kind of why I was going through this crazy dark time. Is I wasn't ready to open my business back up when they started phase 2, because I just was safe, and I needed extra time to like get all the PPE that I needed, and to get all of the information that I needed to feel comfortable and to feel safe to open back up. And just talking about it right now, feeling like I'm protecting myself, like my shoulders are rolling forward, and I can feel that stress coming back just talking about my business. So yeah, give yourself the extra time though. Like when it's in retrograde, be kind to yourself. Give your relationship a little bit more time, because that Venus is in retrograde. I even kind of feel like there might be a rib out of alignment in my chest right now. Oh my God. Yep, it just popped. That is how tight I'm feeling right now, because shit sucks right now. Yeah, it definitely pops my rib out a little. Holy shit. Oh man. So good times in Jupiter retrograde. So give yourself extra time though. Like, don't be hard on yourself. Give your relationship extra time. Give your partner some more space and some more like kindness. And just give yourself extra time to complete any learning things. If learning something new on the job, or you've got a big project that you're working on, give yourself extra time. Even if you think that you got it, like say you're working at, and God, just talking about that totally fucked up my whole right side. Oh my gosh. If your project, you've like done most of it, you've like got everything planned out, you think you got it, and then you give yourself, you're like, okay, we're almost done. It'll only take like a couple hours to finish it. Like, give yourself more than a couple hours, because something might go wrong. You're gonna need that extra time. If you get what I'm saying. I used to feel bad about that in school, high school. Whenever we'd get an assignment, I would like jump on it and like get all of this, like half of the thing done, and then I'd be like, okay, I've got this. I've got a plan. I'm ready. And then I'd like wait until the last minute to finish it, and then like it would take, I'd be up all night. So give yourself extra time. Okay, and Saturn is also in retrograde. The candle's about to burn out. You burn fast. I think I've got the fan blowing, so it like it's fire. It's almost out. Shoot, I forgot to write down how often it happens. Once a year. I don't know exactly how many months, but I think it's once a year that Saturn retrograde. And Saturn is the planet of like life lessons, limitations, not procrastination. What am I thinking? Oh man, my mind just went blank. Like restrictions, limitations, life lessons. It's pretty intense. Like everybody has a Saturn return every 30 years. So like somewhere around your 30th birthday, you tend to have like a really big change, like a really big life change every 30 years. Saturn is, it means that Saturn is in the same place that it was on the day that you were born, is when your Saturn return is every 30 years. But I can't remember every time it goes retrograde. So, shoot, I'm sorry, I didn't write that down. But it's a pretty intense time. It's usually a social and political change, which is kind of interesting right now. There is so much going on in the world, not just with the pandemic, but just with politics. And I'm not going to get into it, and racism, and I'm not going to get into it because it's absolutely infuriating. And we just got over depression. I think that was part of it. It was like I was going through my own stuff, and then like globally we're going through something, and then just politically, and yeah. Let's clear that out there. I was going to see if I could get the candle going again. Adding more of the wax back in. I need to go up. So yeah, it's usually a pretty intense time, socially and politically. That did not work at all. I put it out. Yeah. So, I mean, this made me feel better. It made me think like, okay, because I was thinking like, why am I not able to talk to my husband about how depressed I am right now? I was like really struggling to, like, I didn't understand that. And Venus is in retrograde. And because Virgo is, my Venus is in Virgo, I like things to be like orderly and perfect, and talking about something uncomfortable was not going to be orderly and perfect, I guess. And then Jupiter being in retrograde, I was like, okay, good. Like I definitely needed extra time, but I felt pressured from the governor and phase 2 that, and I knew I wasn't ready, and I just had so much anxiety over it. I also contemplated just not going back because it was causing much anxiety and depression. But now I finally realized I love my job. I love my clients. I love what I do. I believe in massage so much. It has changed my life better, and I want to do it as many people as I can. And that's another reason why I was depressed, because now we all need massages. We all need to take time out for ourselves. And I'm not able to do it, and I really don't feel safe doing it. And I lost my sense of purpose in the world. If I'm not here to help people and to make people feel better, then what the fuck am I doing here? What was going on in my head? So seeing that Jupiter was in retrograde made me feel better. I realized, okay, you just need more time to get prepared, get all the information that you need, get all the equipment that you need to be safe so that you can be safe. And finding out that Jupiter was in retrograde. So I hope by looking at astrology the same way, and being in retrograde, I hope that we get a huge social and political change during this time. I hope so. I mean, how can we go on living in a world like this that's full of so much hatred and devastation? And how can we go on like this? How can like one of my favorite quotes is, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I'm not seeing where it's just heartbreak. It's horrible. Like, what is this world that we're living in? But nothing's forever. Everything changes. And the moon shows you that. The moon shows you that from the darkness comes light, and everything's a cycle and everything changes, and you'll get through it. The light will come. The light will come. But yeah, I hope that these moon videos, I hope that it makes you feel better. I hope it makes you look at your life differently, look at the world differently, and hope it eases your mind if you're feeling stressed or anxious. And I hope it excites you and makes you happy, because I love learning about the love everything about it. There's a reason there's so many songs and poetry and art dedicated to the moon. I mean, it's one of those mysterious things. So thanks for joining me on this cloudy, rainy day, and for tolerating my cloudy, rainy mood. And maybe I'll in a week for the full moon. It is if you need some candles, I'm making some typically for the moon, the full moon and the new moon. Oh shoot. So it looks like, so this one is for, so in a week, the full moon is going to be in Sagittarius. So I picked out these colors specifically for Sagittarius. It's red, orange, and purple. And then it's also coming with, these ones aren't ready yet. I don't know what I did with the one that's finished. They're gonna come, like, this is a work in progress, but they're gonna come with these sparkly, because Sagittarius is the archer. So I'm having these foam arrows to go with it for helping you like set your arrow on your goals and to keep moving forward. So that's for in a week, full moon in Sagittarius. And then after that, I've got another candle. I'll show you the candle. I don't have, it's going to be a whole kit. This is for the new moon in, and I highly encourage you to get one of these, because we're actually having 2 new moons in Cancer for June and July. It's going to be like on the June 21st, and then June 20th and July 21st, or something like that. The end of June and the end of July. Double new moon in Cancer. You don't have a new moon in the same sign close together. They're usually like 6 months apart, something like that. So yeah, there's going to be 2 new moons in Cancer, and this is, I tried to make it kind of beachy. It's got the aqua candle color, like a natural sandy color, and then orange, like reminded me of the sunset. So Cancer is the crab, so it made me think of, and it's a water sign. And then I have a whole kit that's going to come with it, because this is going to be a time to be able to just like wipe your slate clean. And I've got these cool little, you use it like as a slate to like, we're going to like write things down on it so that you can like visibly see them, and then like wipe slate clean. But after we like do those rituals for the new moon, I've put a little ledge at the bottom so that you can use it to place your oracle card on. Like I have these, basically the same exact thing as this, but it has a chalkboard on the front, or a dry erase board. You'll have 2, and but I haven't finished them yet. Them like different colors. to match the candle. So it'll be like this whole little kit that goes together. And while I'm talking about oracle cards, so like on there so that you can use it as a stand for your oracle cards afterwards. I almost forgot to do an oracle card. I'm glad I know about that. I'm really excited about totally lost my train of thought just now. My husband is expecting a package that I might have to sign for. So I heard I was just checking to see if somebody was here. But yeah, let's get a card. This is the Chakra healing deck. That's a companion to the Ultimate Guide to the Chakras book that I'm always. I think I pulled a card from this last week. I love them. I did talk about it because I love the texture of the deck, and like the edges are all nice and shiny and pretty. But they're easy to shuffle. Okay, let's pick a card for the first quarter moon in Virgo. So just remember the Virgo moon is about getting organized. Since we're still so close to the new moon, you can still use this time to clean and declutter. That's a very Virgo thing to do, to get organized and that kind of thing. This one bottom. Interesting. Okay, Seductive Flame. This is an orange sacral chakra card, which is kind of interesting because Virgo is the Virgin. So you are coming alive in the best, most empowered way. The energy permeating from your auric field is magnetic. Your senses are heightened, your creativity is surging, and your vibrations are high. This joyous energy is rising like a victorious inferno. So hot, it's impossible to extinguish. Let your fire burn bright. Others will be inspired by you. Life wants to come through you right now. You are advised to allow it. So again, that's the sacral chakra, and the stone for the sacral chakra is carnelian, and the herb here is coriander. And that's I like when they list common herbs like that, because most people probably have coriander in their kitchen. So that's kind of interesting. I've never thought of that as a sacral chakra herb. Is it spicy? I thought it was like a mild. Anyways, I specifically like that this says life wants to come through you right now, because I was seriously in a very, very, very dark place where I did not want to live this week. So life wants to come through you right now really stands out for me. And again, because Venus is in retrograde and the moon is in Virgo, I think it's kind of funny to get a sacral chakra card, but you just gotta give it more time. Give your relationships more time. Give more time, and give. Hopefully, we'll be seeing like some really big social and political changes during this time. All right. Well, I hope you have a good day. I hope for the rest of your day. I'm really liking the later time slot, because I feel like I get more. I'm more active instead of having to like pause in the middle of the day, because sometimes after the video I don't go back to like doing what I was supposed to do. So later time kind of works out for me. If an earlier time, like maybe in the morning, just to like, but I'm a person. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. And if you are not, I hope you some encouragement by telling my story that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is light after the dark side of the moon, and just keep the faith and reach me if you want to talk about it. And yeah, okay. Have a good day or night.